when I really learn to love myself and stop judging myself because of stuff I'm carrying that's maybe not even mine, or that's old or outdated that I can forgive myself or other people for, I'm going to realize that that was the only thing blocking me from this living my life purpose. And we really are hitting this point where, I mean, it's been going this way for a long time, getting you there, getting you there, getting you there. And for some of you, it's jumping into a new track. For some of you, you've been in alignment with your life purpose, but the octave needs to shift. It's a refinement of how you're expressing it. I just feel like there's fears in the shadow that need to come forward for you to let yourself do this. And I think for a long time you've been telling yourself that you're not fully living your purpose because it's a financial thing, or it's something about other people, like I'm not getting supported, or the timing's not right, or it's going to be a moment for you to realize, wow, it was actually all just about my level of self-love. Because when we love ourselves, our priorities change. And when your priorities change, you see everything else differently. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our October 2025 energy update. I'm really excited about this month. I am full force fall energy. So excited about fall energy, and I'm excited to see what is in store for us this month. So as usual, I've already connected in with the energy of the month. I've got the guides all around us, and we're going to use the cards to anchor into our reading for this month to see what big themes we might have coming up for the collective here, and any guidance that can support us during this time. As always, I am reading for the collective of everybody in our community, so take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Sometimes specific things come through that are for specific people in the community and might not necessarily resonate with everyone. That's okay. So just listen to your own body, to your own intuition about what is really meant for you. If you have not already subscribed, I encourage you to do so, because subscribing is your opt-in to being part of this collective that I am reading. And so you might notice that messages resonate a bit more for you if you have opted in through subscribing on YouTube or on the podcast, however that looks for you. Comment below and let me know what you are drinking today. I always like hearing what you're drinking. I have a cup of water and I have a little pumpkin spice latte because the second fall flavors came out. We updated our lattes around here. So let's jump in. This month in numerology is going to be a 1 month, which is about new beginnings, new starts, initiation. And when I first tap into the energy of October, the first colors that come forward are bright yellow and bright orange. Not just because Halloween with orange, but I will say I do think a lot of energies related to All Hallows Eve and the different festivities around the end of October are definitely going to come into play here. All of that coming back to the fact that the veil is a lot thinner this time of year. And because of that, we're going to be getting a lot more contact and a lot more information than ever before, particularly because this year in particular, in this reality that we are in, we are getting levels of connection and disclosure in a way that we haven't before. And so I do feel that there will be a lot of contact coming in from past loved ones. If you have past loved ones you connect to, I would really open up the space to receive that information. There is a strong theme coming up of skeletons coming out of the closet, and that doesn't have to mean bad information. That doesn't have to mean information that is negatively going to affect you. It actually feels very positive. There's a lot of truths that are going to come to light for us throughout this month that are going to help activate the fresh starts that we are stepping into. And for some of you, that's going to be family secrets or family patterns. So because we are finally clearing out a lot of old cycles, being in a collective 9-year and coming out of this 9-month, with that is a really strong recognition of any type of karmic cycles or patterns that we have been locked into throughout different lifetimes ancestrally and in our lineage. And so I'd really be prepared for that to come up. I do have a few different meditations in Next Level You, which you can listen to on our app, guided energy work to help you cut some of those cords and clear any ancestral energy baggage that isn't serving you. So I'd really recommend using those resources. But there is going to be a lot of stuff coming to light from across the veil. So that's layer 1. And it does have a really heavy ancestral kind of energy to it. But some of that will happen very much in the 3D with, again, just family secrets coming out. And when I say a secret, for some of you, it might feel like a secret. It might be something, for someone, it's, I didn't know that my parent was adopted, is what's coming up. That kind of energy. And it's not necessarily a bad secret. It's just something you didn't know. For others, it's a pattern coming to light. Maybe your grandmother had 5 different people cheat on her before she met your grandfather, and you're realizing this pattern in your life. Maybe it is a fear of relationship in some way, a fear of intimacy, a lack of trust, some emotion you're having or some pattern you're in that can be because that energy has gotten transferred down in your family line. So those are just different examples of a lot of different ways that can play out, but there is going to be information that comes up for a large group of you. They're saying 60% related to family patterns. And so just pay attention to what comes up related to parents, extended family, grandparents, new information coming to light, but also really connecting in with the spirit realm at this time, because there's a lot that's going to click into place. And when we talk about clearing energy, there are these actual processes we can do to clear energy quite easily. That's why we have the app. That's why I do all of the guided energy work, so that you can do this from home. But so much of shifting energy is about how we relate to information. And a lot of times when information just comes to light and we see it, we unearth it, we bring it up, that is enough for it to clear. Awareness does move a lot of energy, and sometimes awareness isn't enough, and sometimes awareness in itself allows us to shift the energy to release it so we can move forward in a more conscious way. So that will be one part of how this information is coming to light. The other part of how this information is coming to light is that somebody peripheral is going to come forward and share something with you. So for a group of you, it's an emotion that they've been feeling related to you. Maybe for some of you, it's that somebody has positive feelings. They want to deepen their relationship with you in a certain way. And for others, it's that maybe they've been holding a grudge or a resentment and it needs to get resolved. This is not something to be afraid of. It's really beautiful when things finally come to light, because then we can give apologies where those might be due. We can clear up any misunderstandings. We can release any of that energy that's been hidden beneath the surface and allow all of that to dissipate so you can fully launch forward, because that is what this is about. When you're in this energy of a fresh beginning and a new start, particularly with the flavor of this, it doesn't even necessarily feel like, although it might manifest for a lot of you as a new project, but it's more about a new frequency of yourself that you're really clicking into. And there have been a lot of pieces over the last year, I would say, that you feel really clear on what it looks like, what it feels like, but it hasn't actually grounded in. It hasn't actually fully been expressed for whatever reason, probably because you've just been locked into old patterns logistically, or you might have just felt like it was hard for you to embody it. But something's going to happen so that you actually are able to embody this moving forward. And when you do that, your reality is going to click really easily. But you're going to realize that a lot of the stuckness related to the embodiment of this new frequency of yourself was because of this stuff hiding in the shadows, underneath the surface, all of these little entanglements we had with other people, where this information needs to get delivered, and that is going to move things forward. And I know sometimes it can feel frustrating from our point of view when we are really ready to launch forward, but it's just not moving. And so you might start to personalize that and think, what am I not doing? Do I need to do more of this or that? Why am I not manifesting? And we can really go in spirals. And sometimes there is very much an action we need to take, but sometimes it is that we just need to focus on our side of the street, but more information is going to get revealed to us. There's other players in the game, and we are co-creating, we are connected with other people. And so a lot of this stuff that your soul has been holding on to, I want to say, is going to come to light for that energy to clear, for you to fully move forward. But this month also has a really strong energy of recognizing layers of yourself, recognizing a version of yourself that you haven't acknowledged in a long time that feels really connected to inner child energy. This is a really important month to really indulge that inner child, that divine child within. Play. There's a mischief kind of energy to it. There's that guilty pleasure kind of energy to it. Just getting involved in things that you're curious about, trying new things that you haven't tried before, just for the fun of it. There's something about really being in the body. Some of you that might be very physical, like trying a new sport or a new physical activity, a new form of physical movement. Dance for a lot of you, something like that feels really, really strong, and getting more into that to connect in with your body. For others, it's going to be more of a creative endeavor, but and for others, it's going to be more of like a learning, something that you're learning, but the learning is like going down a rabbit hole of something super random that might not feel connected to, your career or anything personally, but it's like, I don't know, I just got really obsessed with this true crime documentary, that kind of idea. Because the energy we're getting to, it's this very, here we come, Scorpio season, scorpionic, deep, indulgent, secret pleasure, taboo, shamanic, earthy, what's beneath the surface, that kind of energy that wants to come forward. Because the deeper you go into that, you're going to find more of your power. You're going to connect in with your body in a deeper way. And again, how this looks for everybody is going to be dependent on you, but there's a piece of yourself that hasn't really been indulged that needs to get indulged. And so I would really encourage you to let yourself fuck around and find out this month. I have the wrong cup. We have a cup that says that, but it very much is the energy of fuck around and find out, play, don't care so much, get into a little mischief, nothing illegal, but you know what I mean? Get out of your comfort zone a bit, because that is where you're going to notice these golden opportunities. And in a month like this, where there's a lot of new energy opening up and there's a lot of fast energy available, you never want to just shut things down because you're not comfortable with them or you're unsure. You need to say yes to the unknown this month. You need to, because all of the opportunities that are waiting for you, they're showing it like hands with diamonds on them. They're literally through the sea of the unknown. It's not going to come through any of the doors that are already open or that you're already comfortable with. And I really want to emphasize that. What you want is going to come through trying something new, meeting someone new, doing something very out of your comfort zone. You're not going to understand why it's important. This is very much I went to this social event that I would usually never go to, and then I met this person and they gave me the biggest job opportunity of my life. And I never thought going to this Halloween party would do that for me. It's very much a synchronistic energy that's coming forward. And your part is to just say yes, to have fun, to try new things, to get out of your comfort zone, and to stop worrying so much about, does this make sense for me to do? Because it just feels like there's a very logical energy that needs to get broken up in order for you to quantum leap. And it's very much about, I just intuitively feel like I should do this thing and I don't know why. I'll give you the most simple example. This happened last week. I was staying at a friend's house while I was traveling, and my friend was out of town. And a lot of you might know that I stopped coffee for a while, and I brought it back in maybe a month or so ago, but I'm going to quit it again because I'm getting Invisalign. But anyway, so I have been indulging in that part of myself. I'm rebelling and having my coffee this month, even though I know it's not great for me. But that's, a topic for another time. And I had way too much coffee for like 4 days in a row and I was feeling very unstable. And I woke up and I had this really strong feeling like I need to go to the coffee shop. And I thought, I cannot go to the coffee shop again. I feel so unwell from all these days of coffee. Absolutely not. But I just felt I should go. And there was a piece of me that was judging myself because I'm like, this is just my rebel energy wanting to go. Anyway, I just felt I need to go, even though I feel like more coffee is going to make me not okay. So I go to the coffee shop, I get my coffee, I'm all excited about it because it's all fancy and I'm excited. And I walk back and somebody is in front of my friend's house where I'm staying and telling me that they're going to tow her car if it's not moved in the next 30 seconds. And so I went and found the keys and moved the car, but And there's a bigger story to that. But long story short, I realized, okay, I had that really strong ping to go to the coffee shop because it was just around the corner, but it brought me back at the exact time when they were about to do that. And had I not gone, I would have missed that and the car would have gotten towed. Or I would have, by the time I left the house, I would have missed it. And so it's those little moments of synchronicity. And so that's an example of, I just prevented her car from getting towed, thankfully. But this month, it's those little moments of like, you know what? I really shouldn't get a coffee, but I'm going to. Where you might bump into the most life-changing person at the coffee shop. There's something about breaking apart this idea of, we call it good girl, bad girl, that part of you that rebels, that dark masculine, dark feminine. That is really what is coming forward, as it often does this time of year. But I would say right now more than ever before, because there's a lot of conditioning and programming that needs to get broken up for you in order for you to hit this next phase, in order for you to activate this higher frequency, actualize your true higher self. There are components of what's going on mentally in your beliefs and in your energy field where you're afraid of fully expressing your power. And so that rebel energy and that rebel archetype can be really helpful. It is really important for us to embody. It's important for us to look at these parts of ourselves so they're not secretly running us, so that we're actually integrating them in a healthy way, and they can, in a very healthy way, allow us to step forward and express our power, again, in a healthy way and in a loving way, but in a way that is, I'm not going to keep dimming myself down because of what other people think. And so again, we're really breaking apart where this, I need to be the good girl, or apply that however you identify, where I need to be the good girl gets broken up, where you realize I don't need to be good or bad according to who assigned that. I just need to follow my truth when it's coming from love, when it's coming from a healed place, right? We're not talking about just going and being a rebel from a not loving place, but our power from a healed place, our power from a loving place, our potency is our gift that we're here to express in the world. And that is the final link for you to really step into this new chapter. It's for you to be embodied in this frequency of, I cannot let my fear, what everybody else is thinking about me, run my life anymore. It's the final crux, and it's really what's going to break you free. So I would just say indulge in anything that feels fun for you. Play, have fun, mess around, go ecstatic dance. That feels really alive. Anything like ecstatic dance, get a big canvas and just splatter some paint and dance around. Again, the body, just having fun. That's really important. And really social opportunities are going to be really, really important this month for allowing that synchronicity to come into play and for you to really receive what you desire. So haven't even pulled a card. Let's pull a card. We'll see how many decks I get through. What else do we need to know for this month of October 2025? I'm seeing the image of a snowball where it's already really big and it's just going really fast down the hill. And so you might feel like this month is moving really fast, but it's in a good way. It's like one thing just led to the next thing, and you don't even know how it's spiraling. Don't overthink it. Just go with it. And that's how it picks up that pace, and you're really going to enjoy it. Okay, life purpose, peace, willpower, and love. I feel a really strong self-love energy here. I feel a really strong romantic love energy here as well. Something that's really been coming through a lot from Archangel Michael. Actually, I was channeling on this morning. It was just about new relationship templates. It's such a big theme right now, and how we are clicking into new templates of union. But that only can become actualized in romantic partnership with that level of divine love, when we've embodied that frequency of divine love within ourselves. And all of this is about loving ourselves. All of this is about having love for ourselves. And that is also expressed and mirrored in us embodying love and loving others as well. But there's a really strong link between these two, the life purpose and the love. And something that's really helpful to inquire within yourself about is that connection point in where you're not allowing yourself to fully live your life purpose how much is that connected to you not being fully embodied in self-love? And that's where I'm going to come back to what we were sharing before about these final subconscious beliefs or final fears, which is going to be connected to some of those ancestral patterns. It's going to be connected to some of that karma from some of that soul pain that's ready to be healed. When you realize that when I really learn to love myself and stop judging myself because of stuff I'm carrying that's maybe not even mine or that's old or outdated that I can forgive myself or other people for, I'm going to realize that that was the only thing blocking me from this living my life purpose. And we really are hitting this point where, I mean, it's been going this way for a long time, getting you there, getting you there, getting you there. And for some of you, it's jumping into a new track. For some of you, you've been in alignment with your life purpose, but the octave needs to shift. It's a refinement of how you're expressing it. We have to get here. We have to get here, and you're going to be pushed here. You're going to be forced here. But that journey is what is going to allow you to feel that peace on your path that you want to feel, and that love on your path. But again, it starts with this, to allow yourself to fully live this. I just feel like there's fears in the shadow that need to come forward for you to let yourself do this. And I think for a long time, you've been telling yourself that you're not fully living your purpose because it's a financial thing, or it's something about other people, like I'm not getting supported, or the timing's not right, or it just feels like all of these, and this word isn't necessarily correct, but excuses. And it's not that they're not real things, but it's going to be a moment for you to realize, wow, it was actually all just about my level of self-love. Because when we love ourselves, our priorities change. And when your priorities change, you see everything else differently. This willpower card, I feel, is really about going down this path at first might require a bit more willpower than it feels like flow, because you're going to be breaking apart a lot of internal fears to allow yourself to fully do this. And so right when you step into your real purpose, you're going to be more afraid than ever before. Everything's going to come to the surface. That's just how it works. And so that's where the willpower comes into play of like, let me just put my head down and keep going. I know this is correct in my heart. I know this is correct in my gut. And your ego is going to come out to play real fast. Your ego is going to have lots of things to say, lots of fears, lots of chatter, and you keep going, and eventually you burst past that layer of ego into that soul self, into that love. And here you are fully actualized in this. And this is where we're heading this month and for the rest of this year. And that's why so many dynamics are going to change. So many relationship dynamics are going to change. It's going to be very powerful. Let's go here. What else can we know for October 2025? What you seek also is seeking you, perhaps not from the person you expect, or not in the way that you expect. Okay. So here we have the Bard, music, poetry, myth, history, the enchantment of storytelling. The Serpent, knowledge, healing, protection. The Cat, independence, healthy boundaries, and the Fear cards. Everything we've been talking about facing those fears and dissolving those fears. So the Bard card, I love this card, and there is a really, really strong energy that's always been flowing through, but this awareness is so important for us right now, more than ever before, about the power of artistry, about the power of frequency healing when it comes through art. So music, any type of physical art that we create, any type of art like performance, stories, books, writing, singing, anything in the realm of art is one of the main ways that higher frequencies flow through. It's one of the main ways that we can shift our own energy. It is one of the most important components of our our healing, our emotional release, our emotional activation. It really is just one of the most important things on the planet. And there has been a big attack on arts in a lot of different ways. There's been an attack on that in terms of setting things up in society that have pushed a lot of people out of creativity. A lot of people are just far less creative because they don't have time, because they're busy doing their treadmill jobs and all of the to-dos we have to do as adults. So a lot of people just don't have as much time, so they're not connecting into creativity. But also in terms of the realm of arts, how it's so difficult for artists to make money. A lot of true art has been overpowered by things that have been popularized in society by certain powers that want lower frequencies to be represented in the artistry space. I'm sure you get my transmission, but it's really important for us to come back to this. So coming back to what I was talking about before about connecting with the body, writing, journaling, writing short stories, reading old school mythology, reading old books. I've been really called, as I look at this, in the last couple of months, I've just been getting the message constantly. I'm going back and I'm reading old fairy tales and like my favorite books that were written in the 1800s. And I'm going back to a lot of old stuff, and it's really activating a lot in me creatively. But there's something about finding those messages and that awareness through the music, through the story. And so I would say anything you can go to that is related to this, if it's movement, if it's dance, if it's a poetry night, if it's going to a new movie that resonates with you, reading a certain book, like you're going to get messages through that artistry. And so open yourself up to that realm of synchronicity. But again, this is about all the information you need finally coming forward. The Serpent card is a lot of what we've already talked about. New information coming to light. With that knowledge comes healing, and oftentimes instantaneously. I realize that this is a pattern I have been holding on to since I was a kid, and I had this memory come up, and I realized, wow, I don't need to hold on to that anymore. Or I realized this was a pattern I got from my mom because she used to always feel this way, and I don't need to hold on to this anymore. The protection card and the cat card, the independence and healthy boundaries, feel like they really go hand in hand for me here. With new information and really information about yourself and seeing yourself in a new light and seeing the future that's going to be now, that's actualizing right now, you're going to see things differently. And I think protect yourself and your heart and your frequency in an important way. Not all information is meant for everyone. We don't need to share everything with everyone. There's something about you realizing where you want to put more of your energy. I want to focus my energy more in this direction. It's not about focusing on what we want to cut out or what we want to release. I would focus on where you want to put more energy into, the people you want to focus more on. But really, it feels like an internal focus. It feels like you're really realizing it's all about my own internal world. It's all about how I'm feeling. It's all about my creative flow and my skill set and these things I'm excited about. When I focus inward and I start to release all of these connections I've been holding on to, really just out of wanting to feel connected. But is it really helpful for me to talk about this with everybody? Is it helpful for me to listen to people complain? Is it helpful for me to have all of these extra energy cords when I'm not really lit up? There's something really strong about pulling back and cleaning up your plate. And for some of you that might feel like responsibilities, there is something to cleaning up the responsibilities you have at work, but it actually feels a bit more social for me, or things on your mind. Even things like, are you listening to too many podcasts? Can you pare it down to just a couple? There's a really strong energy of simplification, but also socially, the place that feels like it is lighting you up, just go deeper into that and energize more of that, instead of feeling like you need more input or more energy streams, or you need to process this with 20 different people or 5 different people. Maybe it is quality over quantity, and that's what's actually going to fill your whole cup. This actually feels very complete for me right now. Maybe I'll pull. These cards don't really need much explanation. So these are the Archangel Michael cards. Any final messages for us going into October 2025? This is going to be a big self-trust month. Angels of healing are with you. A time of healing is about to bless your life. Accept Archangel Raphael's emerald green light while I enhance your strength. Be a light to others. You have a powerful message to share. Shine your light on the world so that others can learn from you. And make a decision. Are you choosing to prioritize yourself or another in this situation? Accept divine guidance pointing you toward your own joy. You deserve it. Going back to your own joy. I think that's a perfect way to close this reading. So that is what wants to come through for us this month. I think a lot's going to unfold. So many different timeline tracks are opening up. It's actually really exciting. Very much choose your own adventure. And I'm excited to see what unfolds. So leave a comment below if this landed for you or anything that you're feeling going into this month. I always love to read your comments, and I love the feedback and love to hear what's going on with all of you and how the messages land differently for different people. And if there is something really strong in here that you knew was for you, please share below. I always love that feedback. And if you find these helpful and you think anybody else in your life would as well, maybe send them the link. I feel like that's such a beautiful way to allow spirit to work through us, to send each other messages. But that is going to be it for this month's energy update. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you have an amazing rest of your October, and I will chat with you again soon.